Mic check 1 2 3. Mic check 1 2 3.
Check 1 2. Mic check 1 2.
Hello and welcome into Leesburg Lightning Baseball alongside my partner Ricky Potts. Vic Massley here at Pat Thomas Stadium, Buddy Lowe Field for another matchup between the Winter Garden Squeeze and the Leesburg Lightning. The Lightning 10-7 coming into this game, and the Squeeze 7-10. This is game 18 of 36, so after tonight we will officially be halfway through the Florida League season. And Ricky, it's just blown by so quickly. And then the Lightning hoping to get to 11-7. Of course, the Squeeze hoping to get to 8-10, closer and closer to 500. Yesterday, we saw a doubleheader between these two squads, and like the game against the Snappers, the doubleheader on Monday, the Lightning split this one as well, losing the first game 6-1 against the Squeeze, who put up 6 runs in the second inning. In fact, the only runs of the entire game came in that second inning. The Lightning had 1 run. The Squeeze, like I said, 6 runs put up in that second inning, and of course, no runs for the rest. And we saw some really good pitching in that game. It was just a really rough patch in the second inning for the Lightning, but in game 2, a lot better for Leesburg, and Winter Garden unfortunately ran into the really hot bats. The Lightning would jump out to a 2-0 lead in the third and then add on 5 in the 6th inning. That's more like we've been used to seeing the Lightning players put up those crooked numbers and big 4 or 5 spots put up in the innings, and then also a 3 spot in the 7th, and the pitching was much better in that second game. And Ricky, it was a quick one at that. Right. We were out pretty early, considering other games that go 3 hours that are a full 9 innings. Of course, this was just 2 7-inning games, but it went by very quick.
Yeah, we had to play 2 7-inning games, so 14 innings plus a 30-minute-ish break in between those 2 contests. And you mentioned it, that second game was very interesting considering the fact that all the runs of that game were scored in the second inning, and then everybody kind of faltered off as the rest of it went by. And then you mentioned it, Leesburg obviously more so what they're used to in the second game, putting up double-digit amount of runs. And even though the Squeeze put up 1 run in the bottom of the 7th, which was the final inning of that second game, it was obviously not enough to overcome that deficit, and they got themselves into that deficit based on that 2-out flurry that the Lightning put together in the 6th inning of the second game when TJ Socross hit the 3-run homer. And obviously we talked about how important it is to keep your composure and always stay in it no matter what, and that's exactly what Leesburg did, getting most of those runs with 2 outs. But taking a look at the box score from that first game yesterday, obviously Zacharias Walker, the best hitter for Winter Garden, the only one to get multiple hits in that first game. He went 2 for 3 with 2 hits, a run, 2 RBIs. So Zacharias Walker has been very solid so far for the Winter Garden Squeeze. They said just a few games under 500, and then taking a look at the box score for the second game for the Squeeze, not so good. As you already mentioned, they lost by 6 runs. And Zacharias Walker once again was pretty decent, going 1 for 2 at the plate with a hit, a run, and a walk. So we'll see if he can keep up his momentum. But interestingly enough, what Leesburg did well was shut down last week's Player of the Week, Drew Pines. He did not really have a chance to get anything going, and we'll see if he can, keep his hot bat up today. But taking a look at this Winter Garden lineup tonight against the Lightning here at Pat Thomas, we're going to lead off with Dominic Donatucci. For the first time this season, he'll be getting rest from the field. He's an extra hitter tonight for head coach Mike McDaniel, and hitting in the 2-hole is going to be Jordan Marlowe once again, and he's playing second base, obviously, as he has been all season long. Drew Pines will return behind the backstop. He's going to be catching at the 3-hole. And Michael Thomas will be batting cleanup over in left field. Sean Stafford batting 5th and playing his usual third base. Zacharias Walker, the best bat yesterday for the Squeeze, will be batting 6th and playing in center field, while Braden Weckman returns over to right field. He's batting 7th, and then rounding out this Winter Garden lineup is extra hitter Derek Lopez batting 8th and getting a break from catching today, while Isaac Incinelli returns to shortstop. He was the shortstop in the second contest of yesterday's doubleheader. He's batting 9th, and Javier Calzadilla will be batting 10th once again. Background and numbers when the game actually gets going, but nonetheless, very similar lineup for head coach Mike McDaniel.
Yep, and the Squeeze getting introduced right now, just moments away from first pitch. And for the Lightning, they're in 3rd place, just a half game behind the Snappers, who are in 2nd. And, of course, the River Rats 16-1. They just won their 14th straight game and tied the Lightning's record of most consecutive wins in the Florida League season, to have a chance to break that record tonight and add on to it before we see them next weekend. And they just have been unstoppable. But the Squeeze, they're in 4th place behind the Lightning. Of course, Winter Garden trying to get back to 500, create some more separation between the Suns, but the Suns have lost 10 straight games. Yeah. So very different baseball being played by the Suns and then the River Rats. So very interesting how this league has worked out.
Well, and that's the crazy thing, because Deland starts out 5-3, and now they've, like you said, lost 10 straight. And interestingly enough, for Winter Garden, they started out 0-4, but since then have obviously gone 7-6 as they're trying to chip away and keep themselves in playoff contention. But it looks like as we head into the second half of this summer, like you said, it's going to be crunch time. Teams are going to be tightening up on defense, tightening up their pitching, not trying to give up as many easy mistakes. So we'll see how the rest of the summer works out. But obviously a great crowd here once again here at Buddy Lowe Field, and Lightning bringing out the field for the first time here tonight. And we'll see, just how this game turns out. If the Squeeze manage to pull out a win, that obviously puts them 2 games behind 200, while Leesburg would still have a winning record. So we'll see how things turn out. And not to mention that the series, this 4-game set, is still up for grabs, with yesterday being split.
Right, and if the Lightning win today, they have a chance to win the series on Monday, and same thing goes for the Squeeze as well. The first meeting between the two teams was back on June the 2nd. The Lightning got that win here at Pat Thomas Stadium, then dropped the second game on the 3rd against the Squeeze. That was at Horizon, and then, of course, split in the doubleheader. So both teams 2-2 against each other, and someone will have to improve to 3-2 against the other here tonight. We'll wait until after the national anthem to deliver the Lightning lineup, as they're about to do it right now, with Riley Fitzgerald heading out into the outfield. He will play in left. On the mound for Leesburg will be Dustin Dunlap, who has struggled, so hoping to see a better outing from him. And still no Eli Thurman, no James Strom for as of right now. Nobody is injured, but just a couple of guys that we haven't seen in a while. So we will step away for the national anthem. We'll give you the Lightning lineup right before first pitch, so don't go anywhere. First pitch between the Squeeze and the Lightning coming up when we come back. Welcome back to Pat Thomas Stadium. Dustin Dunlap on the hill, about ready for first pitch, but before that, we'll give you the starting lineup for the Leesburg Lightning. They'll lead it off with Ryan Jenkins, who we haven't seen in the leadoff spot for a good bit. Usually Irizarry or Thurman does the leadoff duties, but it will be Jenkins tonight. He'll play at third base, followed by Irizarry in the 2-hole playing in center. Cole Bolin will bat third and be the extra hitter. He's on a 5-game hit streak and has looked really good after a slower start to the Florida League. Juan Orozco will clean things up and play at first base, followed by the 5-hole hitter Charlie Keller will play in right. Marco Moises bats sixth. He's the extra hitter. Shortstop Grant Jordan will bat seventh. 8-hole hitter Riley Fitzgerald will play in left. Ledger Pleasant will play at second and bat 9. Trey Kraft will round out the lineup, batting 10th and being the backstop for Dustin Dunlap, who's on the hill for the Lightning. And I mentioned before that he struggled a little bit out of the gate, an ERA of 8.59 in his 4 appearances. 3 of them have been starts, 7 1/3. 14 hits given up, 7 earned runs, 8 walks, 8 strikeouts, and has had some first inning troubles and just has not really figured it out just yet for the Lightning in the 2025 season. So we'll see what he's got tonight, but he does face a really tough and pretty hot squeeze offense that we saw put up a 6 spot in the second inning. And that's what did in the Lightning yesterday in Game 1. Of course, the Lightning were able to get the win in Game 2. I'll tell you a little bit about how Dunlap fared in his last time out. He stands at 6'3", 230, so big guy on the mound. Last was out on the 14th. That was a start, so a week ago, and really struggled. Couldn't get out of the first inning. 2/3 of an inning, 2 earned runs, 4 hits, and a double. Also gave up a walk and 2 strikeouts. A rain delay also was in play there, and that's why he was taken out of the game just because of his troubles, and sitting down a long time got pretty cold. But hoping for a better outing tonight from the big lefty, he will face Dominic Donatucci, the extra hitter in the leadoff spot. Don't usually see the extra hitter bat leadoff, but we are here seeing that tonight. Dunlap comes set, working out of the stretch. The lefty ready, he kicks and fires, and it gets a swing and a miss, and we're underway at Pat Thomas Stadium.
Yeah, Donatucci, like you said, extra hitting today, getting a rest from the field. Typically plays third or second for head coach Mike McDaniel.
Gets another strike to Donatucci. In yesterday's game, Donatucci was batting in the 4-hole and playing at third base in the first game. Was 1 for 3, scored a run, struck out once. Facing an 0-2 count against Dunlap. Here it is. Swung on and missed. Dunlap went upstairs with the fastball and gets a swinging strikeout for out number 1.
Yeah, Donatucci obviously, giving some advice there for Jordan Marlowe, trying to help him avoid the mistake that he just made. And good work there by Dunlap to get him down on 3 pitches. But, yeah, Donatucci was batting just under 270 so far this summer, and we'll see how he eases into the game. And that's obviously something that we see typically across baseball in general, is batters and pitchers alike don't really want to exert themselves too much early on. But that's 4 straight strikes for Dunlap.
Yeah, called strike on to Jordan Marlowe, the batter. He's been a mainstay in the 2-hole for the Squeeze, batted there in the first game yesterday. Soft ground ball. It's Orozco, the first baseman, to get it, and Dunlap gets there in time. A nice shovel pass from Orozco as he led Dustin Dunlap to the bag, 2 down.
Yeah, good on Orozco to flip the ball over to Dunlap. Obviously, he was not going to beat Marlowe in that foot race, but nonetheless, the Lightning have sat these 2 batters down quickly within basically a span of 2 minutes.
Drew Pines, the hot righty batter for the Squeeze, digs in. He's behind the plate and fouls that one back. Yesterday, Pines, batting in the 3-hole, was 0 for 3 in the first game with a strikeout. Then in Game 2 was 0 for 2. Did have an RBI, but also struck out again. So we've seen this happen before. Farner was player of the week. Then the Lightning faced him, shut him down a little bit, and Drew Pines shut down in both of the games of the doubleheader after his stellar week. 3 home runs in 1 game. I still can't believe it, Ricky.
Yeah, and that's just, obviously Pines was, like you said, excellent in that series against the Winter Park Diamond Dogs. But that's just baseball, really. You know, anything can happen from day to day, week to week, and we're seeing that here with Pines. We'll see if he can pick up the bat again.
In an 0-2 hole, here's the pitch, and that was the first ball thrown by Dustin Dunlap. Makes it a 1-2 count. Dunlap has just been struggling with both his command a little bit and just being hit around in general. Has 8 walks and 7 1/3 and 14 hits given up. 1-2, pop fly to right field. That's a can of corn for Charlie Keller. Wraps it in leather. And Dustin Dunlap completes the 1-2-3 inning. Gets a strikeout, ground out, and a fly out. How about all 3 of them? We head to the bottom half of the first inning. Nothing doing for the Squeeze and the Lightning. Coming up when we come back. Welcome back. Bottom half of the first inning. A 1-2-3. Easy does it for Dustin Dunlap as he made quick work of the top 3 batters for the Squeeze. And it's Gabriel Vargas on the hill for Winter Garden. He will face Ryan Jenkins, Julian Irizarry, and Cole Bullen. And for more about Vargas, Ricky, what do you got?
Yeah, Vargas, this is actually his first appearance in general, first start as well this summer for the Winter Garden Squeeze. Late arrival for head coach Mike McDaniel, but nonetheless in 2025 over at St. Petersburg College, teammate of Drew Pines. 13 appearances, struggled a little bit, 1-5 record on the mound, pitched 28 2/3 innings, unfortunately an ERA of just over 10, 35 strikeouts though, 17 walks, 32 earned runs. So I'm sure he's going to want to use this summer to keep up his momentum and maybe try to, show that to coaches and scouts alike that he can bring those numbers down.
As Jenkins in a 1-1 count, the pitch is a called strike. Yesterday, Jenkins was batting in the 2-hole in the first game, went 1 for 2, had a walk and a strikeout. And then in game 2, he was 0 for 3, did have an RBI and a walk. 1-2 offering, doesn't chase that breaking ball. Count evens up at 2 apiece so far on the year. Ryan Jenkins batting .224, 11 for 49, has a couple doubles, 8 RBIs. Like to see his bat get even hotter as we get hotter here in Florida. Old strike 3 on the outer half. And Jenkins is retired, 1 down.
Yeah, you're right about that. I think we're about to approach the peak of the heat of the summer in about a couple of weeks or so. So we'll see how the weather treats us going through the second half of this Florida Collegiate Summer League season. But nonetheless, Irizarry's up.
Irizarry batted leadoff in game 1 of yesterday, went 0 for 4. Made a note that was very weird to see. He seems to always find himself on base, whether it's a hit or a walk. And then in the second game, did have that hit. He was 1 for 3, a run scored, a walk, and a strikeout. Still a quiet doubleheader for him. Looking to turn it on here tonight. Fouls that one, quickly 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes. Gabriel Vargas way ahead against Julian Irizarry. The righty deals upstairs. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Great crowd here at Pat Thomas Stadium, still filling in. Perfect day for baseball. No better place to be than Pat Thomas Stadium, right outside of Orlando. 1-2. Again misses. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Yeah, that was instantly one of the first things I noticed when I first got to see Pat Thomas up close and personal is you guys have a show-out crowd. They love their Lightning, and I got a lot of respect for that, and obviously I'm sure the players love it as well.
Ground ball towards third. Calzadilla scoops it up and fires in time to get Irizarry 2 outs.
Yeah, good 5-3 turn there by Julian Irizarry, by Javier Calzadilla to get Irizarry out at the first base bag. Kind of had to steal that one a little bit from Incinelli, but nonetheless, Calzadilla has really been a mainstay on the left side of the infield this summer for head coach Mike McDaniel, but look at the gap between 6 and 4 right now.
Yeah, a lot of room up the middle of the field, and that's a good note you just made. Cole Bolin is batting third tonight. Haven't seen him bat in the top 3 of the order just yet, but we will tonight, and he has been swinging a hot stick. Comes into this game with a 5-game hit streak after starting out pretty cold. Hadn't seen live pitching in a while. Goes to University of Florida and was a 3rd-string catcher, so didn't receive any playing time this spring, but he'll get a bunch of it in the summer. And had a productive doubleheader yesterday. Was 1 for 2 in the first game with a walk. And then in the second game was 1 for 3. 2 misses. So that 5-game hit streak really is 4 different days, because obviously the doubleheader, 2 different games in 1 day, and he had a hit in both. But would love to see his bat start to heat up. 3-0. Called strike as Vargas finds the zone.
And that's, like you said, a big reason why a lot of these players are here, is especially if they didn't get those reps in this past college season, they can come here and really try to keep their skills sharp.
3-1 misses downstairs. Bolin is aboard with a 2-out walk. That'll bring up Juan Orozco. Orozco, quiet first game, 0 for 3. And in the second game, he was 2 for 3. Had a double that plated a run. That lone RBI, also had a strikeout. But he's been an extra base hitting machine. Him and Charlie Keller with the most on the team so far. Orozco has 5, Keller has 6. Each of them 4 doubles. Keller 2 home runs, Orozco the 1. First pitch he sees misses low.
Yeah, so far, Vargas has thrown more pitches outside of the zone than in. Obviously, Bolin, the first base runner of this game after the first 5 were retired.
1-0 hit the other way towards second. No problem for Jordan Marlowe. He puts the final touches on the bottom half of the first and sends us to the second inning. Still scoreless here at Pat Thomas Stadium. Top two, Dustin Dunlap back out there. A good trivia question. Almost stumped everyone, and they gave him a hint. But
Right.
It was the only player to hit a walk-off inside the park grand slam. And I'll let everyone guess on that for a little bit before I reveal the answer. Maybe let Dustin Dunlap try to get through his first batter, which is Michael Thomas, before we give that answer away.
Yeah, the odds of doing that they've got to be slim to none.
First pitch low and inside. Dunlap, 1-2-3 back in the top of the first. Got a strikeout to Donatucci, followed by a ground out and a fly out. Did a little bit of everything. And that's signs for a really good pitcher. Someone able to have the strikeout stuff, but also can get early and quick and soft ground balls and fly balls. 2-0. Fouled back.
Yes, so far after that pitch, Dunlap has a 9-3 strike to ball ratio to start out this contest. He's been working very efficiently. Only needed 9 pitches to get through the first inning, but it was not immaculate, obviously. But
2 balls, 1 strike. Ground ball chopped towards third, but foul. And had our first guess. Ichiro was a good guess, but that's not it. It's Roberto Clemente.
yeah, I mean, if it's going to be someone to pull that off, I would assume it's someone pretty fast.
Like
So-
Ichiro, but Roberto Clemente very fast, but obviously that was a long time ago.
Yeah, and that probably explains why, because I doubt that would happen in today's MLB.
Yeah, I would agree with that, unless they're playing at Polo Grounds.
Yeah.
2-2 count. Ground ball foul. Good fight by Michael Thomas.
Do you play the show?
A little bit here and there. I'm so bad at it. I just can't really figure it out. But
I get it, because I was going to say, obviously, there's those
oh yeah, you
the
can
challenges of trying to hit it dead center at Polo. Yeah.
I like watching those. Pretty interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty like. I mean, it's not realistic because it's a video game,
Right.
but in terms of the dimensions, yeah, it's realistic
Oh,
if
yeah.
you were to get out there. Long at bat to Michael Thomas. The 2-2 on the way. Outside. Count runs full.
Yeah, Thomas trying to stay in this one and fight it off. He's obviously forced the full count, and as we mentioned yesterday, good to see him still 100% and ready to go for the rest of the season after kind of taking a hard crash into the right field wall over at Sanford.
3-2 misses away. Michael Thomas is the first runner for the squeeze. It's a leadoff walk for Dunlap. Thomas played in just the first game of the doubleheader, went 1 for 1. A run and an RBI, so productive 1 base hit. That'll bring up the batter Sean Stafford, the first baseman for the squeeze. Stafford did not play in the second game, but did play in the first one and was 1 for 3. Big lead for Thomas against the lefty. He picks him off.
Nope.
Do they got him? Yes, they do.
Wow.
Oh, boy, what a play. Thomas, I don't know what he was thinking. He crept way too far off the bag in a really good pickoff move by Dustin Dunlap.
Yeah, that was great instincts by the lefty Dunlap, and especially if you're going up against a lefty, you've got to be aware that he has that 100% clear view of you over at first base, and really nothing better that the Lightning could have done there, and they've now retired, technically, the first 4 batters.
So Stafford with 1 down and nobody on, and Thomas just a super aggressive lead. It seemed like he was almost telling Dunlap, hey, if you don't got a good pickoff move, you're not going to get me. And Dunlap was like, here, hold my, you know what.
Yeah, I mean, Thomas is one of the faster guys on this squeeze team, but still, like I said, going up against a lefty, you got to have that awareness.
I was referring to the cold drink. Hold my
Beer.
beer.
I
Don't
mean,
want that to
some of
get
these guys are legal.
misconstrued. Yeah, no. I don't know why I held back saying it. But
Yeah.
that's what Dunlap was basically saying. It's like, if you're going to take that far off a lead, then try to guess if I'm going home or going to first. And Thomas guessed wrong. That initial flinch was going towards second base. Not sure if it was just a secondary lead or if he was trying to snag second. Hammered deep into left center field. That one is going to head to the wall. Irizarry will get there, and he'll fire it into the infield, but that is all after a Sean Stafford stand-up double, and that pickoff really saved the day so far.
Yeah, Stafford, we know he has that batting power. Obviously hit the first homer of the season for Winter Garden about a week and a half ago, and he puts that one right in the gap of 7 and 8, and he's now in scoring position with only one away.
That ball was absolutely crushed by Stafford. No chance for Irizarry or Fitzgerald to track it down. A little bit closer to center field than left, but well into the gap. Now a runner in scoring position, the first hit for the Squeeze, and it's Zach Walker, the center fielder, up.
Yeah, we mentioned Walker's stats from yesterday's doubleheader. Obviously the best bat of that day for Winter Garden. Just one of the best bats in general on this Squeeze team.
Yeah, Walker was 2 for 3 with a run and 2 RBIs. So he looks at that one inside. And then in the game 2, a little quieter, but 1 for 2, run scored and a walk. So still 2 great ball games from him.
Yeah, we got Unos everywhere.
Had that double. Ground ball to short. Grant Jordan charges, has to go quick, and he gets his man. 2 out. Runner Stafford advances to third. It was a soft ground ball, so Stafford was already halfway to third and no chance to get him. The Lightning forced to get that out at first. And Braden Weckman the batter.
Yeah, he kind of had a tap dance around that roller to make sure that he didn't get called for interference. But taking a look at Weckman's stats for the summer, batting .276 thus far, 8 hits, 10 runs scored, got 2 RBIs, 3 walks. So Weckman has been pretty consistent, I would say, so far in 2025, not only for the Squeeze, but back in college as well. Batted .312 with 7 RBIs.
Soft ground ball out to second. Pleasant is there. The play to first is in time, and Dunlap able to work around a 1-out double to Stafford. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on base as we head into the bottom half of the second. Still scoreless here in Leesburg. Bottom of the second inning, due up first, Charlie Keller for the Lightning. Been the best hitter for Leesburg so far. Of course, Ledger Pleasant has the highest batting average, but not as many at-bats as Keller. And Keller has, obviously, more extra base hits with 6, leads the team. Has a .308 batting average, 16 hits and 52 at-bats, 11 runs scored, 4 doubles, a couple home runs, and 11 RBIs. And he will face Gabriel Vargas, who had no problem getting through the Lightning top 4 batters as he just gave up a 2-out walk to Bolin, then was able to get a ground ball from Orozco.
Yeah, Vargas obviously going to try to bring that strike-to-ball ratio back to where he would like it. Has now 8 strikes to 11 pitches outside the zone, but like you said, surprisingly enough, was able to work through that top portion of the Lightning batting order.
2-0 to Keller. Nice breaking ball. Finds the outside part of the plate. It's got a lot of late break to it.
And Keller was playing third base in that first game yesterday.
2-1, swings right over the top of that. And that was his first time playing at third this season and made an error, actually. 2 runners came to score.
Right.
So play at home, and the runner at third easily scored, and then the runner coming around second was able to score as well. So an unfortunate play, but you won't have to worry about playing third, at least for a little bit. 2-2 misses low and away. Reed Snyder is okay, just feeling a little bit sore, so giving him another day off in the field. Ryan Jenkins will play at third base. Snyder actually getting a full day off today. I do believe he's with the team, though, in the dugout. 3-2, just a bit outside, and Keller draws a leadoff walk. Snyder, a well-deserved day off, too. He's been technically the third best hitter for the Lightning, and actually you can say technically he is, hitting .295. He's got 8 RBIs, 10 runs scored. It's just been a solid bat. The only thing we're waiting on to see from him is just the extra base hits. He's a big, imposing right-handed batter who showcases a lot of power during BP. We just haven't really seen it at the plate, but that's been fine when you've got guys like Charlie Keller, Moises, and Orozco, plenty of guys to provide some power. Moises grounds this ball. Good play at second by Marlowe, and he falls down. Moises is safe. That was a tough play as Marlowe was ranging deeper into the hole close to first base. And as he was trying to do a spin move, almost just falls over himself. Not sure if he got a spike cut in the grass or caught in the grass.
Yeah, that was an interesting set of circumstances there for Marlowe. He's obviously trying to check his spikes and see if anything maybe was, like you said, going wrong there. But he had the ball and he tried to spin around to readjust himself.
Grant Jordan lays down a nice bunt. The throw is over the head of Jordan Marlowe covering first. Keller's going to come home to score. Into third base is Moises, and the Lightning strike first. It's 1-0.
Yeah, unfortunate circumstances there for the Winter Garden Squeeze. That was supposed to be a routine play, but Vargas just overthrew it from Marlowe. I mean, Marlowe did his job, ran over to first to cover, and that should have been out number 1, but unsuccessful.
Marlowe, not the tallest player, but I don't think Stafford is going to get that ball either. He's not the tallest first baseman, and an errant throw from Vargas plates a run. Poked out softly to left field. Michael Thomas is there to make the grab. The throw will stop Moises from heading home.
Yeah, that would have been a fairly easy out for Drew Pines to tag at home plate. We saw Thomas get a good throw underneath that one, and finally one is away in this inning. But again, just unforced errors here for the Squeeze early on in this one.
Going back to the Marco Moises play, that was a single, the right call. It was a tough play for Marlowe to get over there. Of course, once he gets the ball, the hard part comes, and that's delivering a strike to first, which unfortunately he couldn't do. The infield comes in with 1 down. The batter is Ledger Pleasant. He takes a called strike. It will be a sac bunt, and then Grant Jordan reached and got to second via an error on Vargas, the throwing error. So an E1. Ground ball chopped towards third. Moises coming home, and he is out by a mile. Calzadilla was able to deliver a strike to Drew Pines at home. Moises never had a chance.
Yeah, good quick throw there by Calzadilla over at third. He tried his best to get that one ahead of Ledger Pleasant, or Moises running home to score, but there's still 2 on base, so you've got to work quickly here.
So Pleasant moves to first base after the fielder's choice. Grant Jordan still at second, did not advance. First ball to Trey Kraft is in the dirt. Moises is pretty aggressive on the base pass, but that time it hurt him. One 0 off the plate. Sometimes on those types of plays, you want to go home and test the
Right.
defense. You know, they got to deliver a perfect strike. But when you're that close, Calzadilla to catcher, that's just like playing catch in the yard.
Yeah.
Should easily be able to make that throw. And he did. 2-0 to Kraft. Called strike.
Yeah, we saw Kraft not wasting any time on the bases yesterday when he stole second and third back-to-back.
2-1 offering. Popped up. Had to play foul. Lightning had 2 on and nobody out. And then with that error, a run scored and it was 2 on, nobody out again. And a line out and a fielder's choice makes it 2 on with 2 out. So the Squeeze have a chance to get out of the second inning, minimizing damage. Deuce is wild to Trey Kraft. Jordan goes. Both runners go. A throw will not happen. Pines puts it in his back pocket. It'll be a double steal for the Lightning.
Yeah, good jump by Fitzgerald and Jordan there. It looked like there was, I'm not going to say hesitation, but Fitzgerald especially was kind of looking home to see if he had the right jump. And obviously Pines, thought about maybe making the throw over to the third, but by the time he got up, he decided against it.
Swung on and missed by Trey Kraft. He's down on strikes. So the Squeeze able to hold the Lightning to just 1 run. And it will be a 1-0 lead for the Lightning as we head into the third inning here in Leesburg. Ricky Potts, Vic Maslier here at Pat Thomas Field, Buddy Lowe Field, I should say. Pat Thomas Stadium. Beautiful Leesburg, Florida. It's always a beautiful day here.
Yeah. Got the lake over past right field.
And despite the lack of wind, it's still pretty hot. Or it's actually a little bit chillier. Just the humidity. Squaring to bunt is Derek Lopez on the first pitch. It was a called strike as he pulled back the bat.
Yeah, Lopez extra hitting today for the Squeeze. Typically a catcher, but him, Pines, and Mojica do rotate, so.
0-1 from Dunlap is rocketed into left field. That'll be a base hit for Derek Lopez. Went with the bunt first pitch. And then choked up and smacked a ball into left field. Two very different types of at-bats.
Yeah, he got a little bit over that one. Obviously, that's why it took the trajectory that it did. But nonetheless, good to see that from Derek Lopez. He hasn't really faltered off. I would say he's batting .222 thus far, but he had that solid showing earlier in the season when he went 3 for 4 with 3 singles, but hasn't really had a performance similar to that since.
Big cut and a miss by Isaac Incinelli. You saw Derek Thomas start at catcher in the first game, went 1 for 3, a run scored, and came into pinch hit.
Yeah.
but didn't record an at-bat, so maybe he pinch ran at the end. 0-1 called strike from Dunlap.
Yeah, Lopez, he's a pretty solid batter. Haven't really seen a whole lot of power from him per se, but nonetheless, also a very good backstop.
Dunlap ahead, 0-2. Misses upstairs with a fastball. Incinelli was not playing in game 1. But we did see him in game 2. Was 0 for 2 with a walk. Big lefty comes set at the letters. Takes a look at Derek Lopez. Delivers a 1-2. Ooh. Off the hands, it seemed.
Yeah, it looks like that one caught the lower portion of the bat there. Hopefully didn't sting him too much. It looks like he's okay.
Last inning, Dunlap was seeing some longer at-bats, especially that leadoff walk to Michael Thomas as he checks back to first. Sean Stafford rocketed a double. That was a quicker at-bat than Zach Walker. Braden Weckman took his time a little bit with them. Lopez dancing around at first base. 1-2, swung on and missed. Incinelli couldn't lay off the high cheese, and he has sat down for the first out.
Yeah, that one just got past the bat of the shortstop, and obviously Incinelli will be sat down on the swinging strikeout, but nonetheless, Dunlap only at 31 pitches so far in this outing for him, so he's working very economically.
Would love a ground ball here to see the top half of the order in the 4th. That first one misses upstairs. It's Javier Casadilla, the third baseman for the Squeeze.
Yeah, despite having the most at-bats of 2025 for Winter Garden, he hasn't really gotten the bat on the ball. Just 5 hits, 1 run scored, 7 walks. So Casadilla will obviously look to try to get those numbers back to where he wants them throughout the second half of this summer.
Seemed like a fan missed a ball over there. Crowd reacting to that. And the crowd reacts to that called strike from Dustin Dunlap. Dunlap been one of the starters for Rich Billings as he tries to figure out who he wants to throw to start the games. We've seen Ethan Barrett start the first game of yesterday's doubleheader. Right up the middle, and that's through for a base hit. Almost took Dustin Dunlap's head off. Luckily it didn't, but it will be a 1-out single for Calzadilla. And the Squeeze have something brewing here with just 1 down.
Yeah, Dunlap tried to duck while simultaneously hoping he could get the mitt on the liner, but obviously you don't want to just put your body on the line like that if you don't have to, especially here in summer ball. But yeah, the Winter Garden Squeeze now have 2 runners on base.
Seen 8 different pitchers start at least 1 game for the Lightning, so Rich Billings still trying to figure out which pieces to use where and when. Some of the mainstays for starters, Zach Merkin has done a fantastic job. Gunnar Plante has done really well as of late. Tanner Walker has had 3 starts as well. 2 on, 1 down. Top of the order up. Donatucci fouls that one away.
Yeah, Donatucci struck out swinging on 3 pitches his first time up, so he's going to look to turn that around. Obviously, the fastest Squeeze player.
Runner goes. Pitch is outside. The throw down not in time. The Squeeze take a page out of the Lightning's book. They get a double steal and take away the force out.
Yeah, Lopez really had to turn the Jets on in the second half of the base path there. It didn't look like he thought he was going to get out, but when he saw where the pitch was, he really had to get his last wind in there.
2-1, and it's past Ledger Pleasant into center field. 1 run is across. Here comes the second, and scoring is Calzadilla. It's a 2 RBI single for Dominic Donatucci as he gives the Squeeze the lead back. And just like yesterday, Winter Garden able to answer back when the Lightning score. In the second inning, they did just that. Lightning put up a run, Squeeze put up 6. Hopefully that doesn't happen. And then in the second game, Lightning put up 2 in the third, similar to how they put up 1 in the bottom half of the second, and then the Squeeze put up 3 in the bottom half of the third inning. So after the Lightning get 1, the Squeeze get 2, and they're still not done yet. It's Jordan Marlowe at the dish. Still just 1 down. First pitch, grounded foul.
Yeah, that's been a common theme in 2025 for the Squeeze is if a team gets up on them early, they've typically found a way to respond. Obviously, sometimes they haven't, but that was just a hard roller by Donatucci that neither Jordan or Pleasant had a chance at.
0-1 upstairs. Seen the Lightning do that all season long, too. Just answering back, putting up crooked numbers after the pitching staff struggles.
And then as we talked about, as we near playoff time, you really can't allow yourself to get in those kinds of deficits.
1-1 check swing, though, appeal. He did not go. That was a close call. Dunlap has Marlowe in a 1-2 count. Donatucci dancing around at first. Popped up, out of play, foul. With our new center field camera, we get to see each other up here. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
2 balls, 2 strikes, the pitch. Grounded foul. Another good fight, this time by Jordan Marlowe. Dunlap looked really good in that first inning and is run into some trouble. Leadoff walk and a double last inning. Was able to escape with no run damage, but not the case here in the third. Derek Lopez, Calzadilla both came around to score.
Yeah, I kind of had something similar. I'm sure you may have last summer as well.
2-2. Oh, beautiful breaking ball, spoiled by the ball called by the home plate umpire.
And that one was barely outside of the zone here. Got a replay coming up in just a second, but obviously we do have to abide by the delay.
Runner went, but he'll have to come back after that foul ball. Yeah, off the plate, a little up and in. Sometimes hard to tell from this angle. Right. Not a bad pitch at all from Dunlap, but does have to work a little bit harder. Will be set to make a payoff pitch to Jordan Marlowe. Drew Pines standing on deck, awaiting his turn. See if Donatucci goes this time. He does not. The pitch lined right at Pleasant. The throw to first. Not in time. It actually hit Donatucci, but great awareness to not get doubled up. And a good stab by Pleasant. Line out makes it 2 down.
Yeah, that was I mean, it's difficult and easy at the same time because Marlowe did line it directly to Pleasant, but when it's coming at you that hot, sometimes it can be a little difficult, but nonetheless, good job on the second baseman and good job on Donatucci for getting back.
So a frozen rope line drive out to Pleasant makes it 2 down with Drew Pines. Pines flew out back in the first inning to Charlie Keller. Dunlap hoping for the same here. Gets a chopper. It's going to be Grant Jordan. Fields throws not in time to get a fast Drew Pines, despite being a catcher. but I think a lot of players will beat that one out. Nothing Grant Jordan could do about it.
Right.
Playing pretty deep in the hole, has to charge in. Ryan Jenkins thought about maybe taking it from him, but that one a little bit too far out of his reach.
Yeah, that was just a slow grounder forced there by Pines, and good on him for obviously running hard to first base, and they were not going to try to get Donatucci out at the second base bag for obvious reasons, but just like that, the Squeeze have 2 runners on base yet again.
Fouled away by Michael Thomas. Walk to start things back in the second. It's been a long top of the third. Two on, two down for Dunlap. Lefty delivers off the plate. A good stop by Trey Kraft. Looked like a two-seamer tailing away from him.
Yeah, 1-1 count coming up with 2 outs and 2 runners on base. Obviously, Thomas would like to return to base.
1-1 offering. That skips away from Trey Kraft. No chance at stopping that one. Luckily, there are 2 outs. So the force doesn't really apply. Runners at second and third with 2 outs.
Thomas really had to move out of the way of that one. Way low and inside as Dunlap has eclipsed 50 pitches.
Trying to make 51 his last one of the third inning. As he brings the 2-1. Popped up in foul ground. Jenkins giving it chase. Trey Kraft over there too. That one is going to find the overheads.
Yeah, thank goodness for those. Obviously, the fans would not be safe.
Deuces wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 down. Dunlap fires. Hit the other way foul. Thomas again with a really lengthy at-bat. Last time he drew a walk, but then was picked off as he tried to test Dustin Dunlap's pickoff move.
Right. And good on him for fighting off these pitches, but obviously he'll think twice about taking a big lead if he manages to get on base safely again.
Deuces wild again. Misses. Count runs full. Dunlap throwing a lot of pitches in this third inning.
Yeah, taking a look at Thomas's numbers for the summer so far, batting .240, 6 hits, 8 runs, scored 3 RBIs, and 4 walks. Another pretty speedy player for the Squeeze.
Thomas awaiting a 3-2 offering. The pitch. Ground ball fair down the, foul. Looked like it was fair.
Super close.
Seemed like it skipped over the bag. I was a little quick to assume, but luckily for Dunlap, that one just outside of the lines.
Yeah, that was super close there, and obviously we try our best up here in the press box to anticipate things, and sometimes it might be better to build something up and then have to bring it down,
right,
instead of starting out super low and then all of a sudden having to catch yourself up to speed.
That's a great piece of advice. I will use that for sure. Dunlap set at his letters. Delivers another payoff pitch, and it's crushed into center field. Irizarry heading way back to the warning track and just in front of the wall. He tracks it down.
Wow.
Steals an extra base hit and 2 more runs from coming across off the bat of Michael Thomas, who just missed a 3-run home run. But the Squeeze do get that run back and add on another. It's 2-1 Winter Garden with the Lightning coming up. Bottom of the third, we go. leadoff batter Ryan Jenkins leads things off for the Lightning as they try to get that run back, one of the two back at least that the Squeeze scored last half inning. It was an 2 RBI single from Donatucci, and Michael Thomas was just a couple feet away from a 3-run blast, but bigger dimensions here at Pat Thomas Stadium spoiled that. Probably would have been out at Horizon. Called strike to Jenkins. That ball had plenty of height to get over that double fence, I think.
Yeah, there's like a 90% chance that would have been out at Horizon, and if not, it would have just hit the very top of it. But
one upstairs.
But then again, given how much shorter the outfield is, yeah, you're right. There's a great chance it probably would have been out.
Lightning have been really good all year at answering back after their opponent has scored, either in the top or the bottom of the inning. Jenkins bloops this one out to right field. That one is fair, and it gets down in front of Braden Weckman. No chance for him to get that. A bloop single for Jenkins, and it'll bring up Julian Irizarry.
Yeah, that's one of those, like you said, just a nice blooping single out into the outfield, and he found it about 3 feet to the left of the right field line, and Jenkins finds himself aboard with no outs here. And yeah, we'll see how the Lightning can respond. Luckily, it's only a 1-run deficit as opposed to 5 like they were down in the first game of yesterday's doubleheader.
Irizarry squares but pulls it back. The ball is dropped. Heading to second is Jenkins. He is in there safely. A great read. That ball did not skip away from Pines at all. It just dropped it. But Jenkins was off to the races once he knew that Pines didn't glove it. And he is in second with no problem. And a runner in scoring position, still nobody out for Julian Irizarry. He's 0 for 1. Round out to third in the first.
Yeah, and that was actually a very solid throw from Pines behind the backstop. Typically, when catchers in the Florida League have tried to do that off of the, just the worry that the base runner is going to advance, they might make an erratic throw. But he threw that right on point. Had he not dropped it, maybe he would have gotten Jenkins out.
Irizarry squared, but pulled it back. In the bullpen, I believe it's Brian Berthoff warming up after Dustin Dunlap's pitch count. It's getting pretty up there. 1-1. Irizarry lays it down the third base line. He could beat this out. Casadilla fields, throws, not in time. Irizarry beats the wrap at first base, and boy, what a bunt that one was.
Yeah, perfectly placed roller down the third base line, and good, speedy, and urgent base running from Irizarry to put himself safe. They were obviously not going to go for Jenkins, but just like that, the go-ahead run is actually on base now, but obviously the Lightning doing what they do best, and that's responding.
So scratch the sack bunt. That's a base hit all day for Irizarry. Nothing Calzadilla could do about it, and actually a really good play. And this is going to prompt a mound visit by Mike McDaniel.
Yep. Yeah, and obviously not quite ready to call out for a bullpen warm-up just yet.
Yeah, there's no one out there.
Yeah, he's probably going to see if Vargas can go through this third and hopefully the fourth inning as well. He only has 40 pitches thus far in his first appearance of the summer for Winter Garden, so we'll see how much longer head coach McDaniel wants to keep him out there. But while we're in this break, taking a look elsewhere in the collegiate baseball world, LSU up 1-0 in the top of the third over Coastal Carolina, who has yet to lose a game since around April 25th, I believe. So the Chanticleers have really picked up steam in the latter portion of this NCAA Division I season, and we'll see how they fare against perennial baseball powerhouse LSU.
Yeah, supposed to be a great series. Coastal Carolina's so super hot. They've got like 25-plus wins in a row.
Yeah, 26, I believe, something like that. Yeah,
crazy.
Insane.
And looking across the Florida League, the River Rats, no surprise, they're up 6-0 against the Diamond Dogs and a chance to break the Lightning record for most consecutive games won. The Lightning had 14 in 2018.
Wow.
So that's a called strike on Cole Bolin.
Yeah, this 2025 River Rats team is absolutely the force to be reckoned with.
Some really good hitting, and the pitchers have found their stride too. Runners at the corners, called strike onto Bolin.
Yeah, that one was barely inside. Might have even looked to be just outside, but good on Pines for not trying to oversell to the home plate official.
Yeah, looked a little bit off the plate now watching it back. Bolin in an 0-2 hole. The pitch, line foul.
Yeah, that was a bit of a quicker release from Vargas, maybe trying to throw off Bolin at the plate, but there's still no outs, so the Squeeze really in a dire situation.
Vargas ahead with an 0-2 count. Runners at the corners, nobody out for the Lightning. He delivers just a bit off the plate. The Suns ahead 2-1 against the Snappers. That helps out the Lightning. And after this game, it will be halfway through the Florida League, so it's getting time to start looking at standings and keeping track of that. So a win for the Suns would help out the Lightning. 1-2, line drive, base hit into right field. Scoring easily is Jenkins. Heading into third is Julian Irizarry. It's an RBI single for Cole Bolin. And that hit streak continues. It's 6 straight games with a base hit. The Lightning tie it at 2 apiece. And that's just what they do. Squeeze put up a couple runs after answering the Lightning in the bottom of the second inning, and now in the bottom of the third, the Lightning answering back with a run for themselves, and they're not done.
Wow, yeah, I mean, there's still no outs, but a hit by Cole Bolin. He moves Irizarry over to third, scores Jenkins, and just like that, it's a tied ball game.
Roscoe looks at that one outside. Grounded out to the second baseman, Jordan Marlowe. Another ground out over there, or another ground ball over there would be great with Marlowe shaded towards second base. He swings and misses at that. Don't see Orozco hit it opposite field a ton. Pretty sure all of his extra base hits have been to left field, so poolside. I know the home run has been over there. That double yesterday was over there. One at Pat Thomas was here, so at least 3 of the 5. 1-1, ground ball out to third. Calzadilla goes to second for 1, on to first base. Not in time, dropped by Stafford. A run comes around to score. It wouldn't have mattered if Stafford gloved it anyways. Irizarry was going to score. Now they have the lead. It's 3-2.
Yeah, Orozco pulling another one there, grounding it towards third. Good on Calzadilla to turn it over to second, but obviously they can't make the 5-4-3 happen, and with only 1 out, Leesburg has responded and flipped the score.
The ball was in the dirt, so tough for Stafford to pick out. Ground ball through into right field. A base hit for Charlie Keller. And the line just keeps on moving.
So Orozco will move into second. Keller over to first off of the base hit. But, yeah, I'm not sure if that was just Marlowe's positioning on the base pass that didn't allow him to make a play for it. But, obviously, that grounder finds its way into the outfield, and the Lightning may have found their stride.
Ground ball by Moises. Tough play in the hole. Marlowe has nobody to throw it to. Moises, first pitch swinging just like Keller. He is aboard. That's going to be a base hit. Would have been a single if it got through the right field. Just hit in a really tough spot. Stafford was going out to get it, went past his glove. Marlowe was able to grab it, but Vargas, I think, probably kicking himself a little bit for not getting to first in time. I'll look back at it again, but I've seen that a lot of times so far in the Florida League. Pitcher just slow getting off the mound. Yeah, at first he made a step and then stopped for a little bit and then kept going to first. The batter now, Grant Jordan. But that's just something that when a ball is towards first base, even towards first and second base, you got to at least start going to first if you're the pitcher, Vargas.
Right.
1-0 misses away.
And obviously Stafford, like you said, doing what he was supposed to do, trying to go field that grounder, but now you have to deal with bases loaded and just one out.
2-0, popped up, shallow center field. Walker is under it, makes the grab, and Orozco will not tag. It was a strong throw by Walker. 2 down.
Yeah, good conservative decision there by head coach Billings and the third base coach as well.
Riley Fitzgerald, the batter, lined out to left field last inning. See if Vargas can limit the damage like Dunlap was able to. It's now a 3-2 lead for the Lightning, but they are still threatening. Feel really good for Coach Billings to get a couple more across, let his pitchers settle in. 1-0 hit the other way, foul. As of late, the Lightning have not struggled with getting runners on, but getting them in, they struggled a little bit as of late.
Yeah, we saw that yesterday from both teams. You know, there was a lot of situations where they got 1-2 runners on base and just couldn't convert them.
Still scoring a lot of runs, but that's been thanks to the opponents and the pitching staff for the teams that the Lightning have faced. A lot of walks still given up. Some errors have played a massive role in the Lightning scoring a lot of runs, not errors by the Lightning, but by their opponents.
And that plus getting behind early, that's really going to have to be something that both of these teams, I'm sure, are going to want to improve on going through this second half of the season.
Bounces off the catcher Pine. Scoring is Juan Orozco. The Lightning add on. It's 4-2.
Yeah, that was just a wild pitch from Vargas, and I'm sure that the bullpen is trying to speed up this warm-up. I'm trying to see maybe who is out there on that mound, but nonetheless, just a costly mistake again from the Squeeze as they now trail by multiple runs.
So it is a wild pitch for Vargas. Now 3 runs have come across in this inning. Runners at second and third. The pitch popped up, shallow left field. Michael Thomas shades over to his right and squeezes it for out number 3. The Lightning leave 2 stranded, but they bring 3 home to score and take a 4-2 lead. Looks like a new pitcher for Leesburg, and we'll tell you all about him when we come back. 4-2 is the score. The Lightning lead it. Welcome back. Brian Bertoft on the hill for the Lightning, and now with the play-by-play, here's Ricky Potts.
Thanks so much, Vic. First pitch barely outside the zone for Bertoft, but even though I'm going to do play-by-play for the next 3 innings, what do we know about Bertoft?
Well, thank you, Ricky. Bertoft has been a pretty reliable arm, still an inflated ERA, 6.48 in his 4 appearances, 8 1/3 innings pitched. He's given up 6 hits, 6 earned runs, 4 walks, 10 strikeouts, and I'll give a little bit on his last outing, which was on the 14th. Struggled 2 2/3 of an inning, gave up 2 hits, 3 earned runs, a double, a walk.
Stafford grounds that one. Orozco picks it up and throws it back to Bertoft. What a nifty play forced by the Lightning defense. It looked like Ledger Pleasant was going to be the one to field the grounder and get it to Orozco, but good instincts by Bertoft to race over to first and catch Orozco's throw.
Yeah, what a great play. Orozco made another good play yesterday at first, leading the pitcher to first base, and that's really tough, Ricky, because you've got to range out closer to second base and then fire cross body a lot of the time, and you have to lead that throw to someone that's actively running towards first. So a lot of moving parts going into that play, and Orozco did everything perfectly and has not played at first base besides yesterday since the first couple games of the season.
1-0 is just in the outside zone for Zacharias Walker. He grounded out to short his first time up in the 2nd inning. And now that one called for a strike as well. So looks like home plate official RJ Diet really giving an expansive zone here, but we'll see if Zacharias Walker can fight back. He pops this one up high into shallow foul territory, and it'll land basically in the third base dugout.
And Orozco, like I previously mentioned, was playing at first base, I would say through the first 4 or so games of the season before James Strom arrived. But once Strom arrived, it was him at first base every single game. And we saw Orozco playing first in Game 1 of yesterday and in Game 2 because Strom has been out.
1-2 stays high.
And he's just been playing a really good first base. It's not the easiest position to play, especially with those plays like he just made, and a really good one. And we've seen Bertoft here so far with a nice slider.
Even 2-2, flown out high into center field. Irizarry tracks it back just in front of the warning track and makes the catch. So Zacharias Walker starts off his day 0 for 2 as he forces the F8, and the first 2 batters of Brian Bertoft's day are retired. Good start for him.
Yeah, Bertoft has 10 strikeouts and 8 1/3 coming into this game. So he can give you some punch outs, but he can also draw contact. Whether it's weak, sometimes it's hard hit. But with the guy that's not a big flamethrower, throwing low 80s to high 70s, you're going to get some hard contact, but a lot of it hasn't resulted in big-time gappers or extra base hits.
That one had a lot of break to it, but it stays inside. Good discipline there by Braden Weckman, the right fielder today for the Winter Garden Squeeze. Weckman, a pretty imposing outfielder. I'm sure he stands about 6'1", 6'2", maybe. Now that one way inside. Bertoft trying to get Weckman to chase, maybe force a pull, like you said, but he's way ahead in the count. Most likely will not swing unless this one is right down the pipe. With 2 outs, he watches that one find the lower inside corner of the zone for strike 1.
And the great thing about Bertoft, as opposed to a lot of the pitching struggles to start for the Lightning, is he had a really good command of the zone. He just hasn't really struggled finding the strike zone.
Weckman grounds that one over to third, and Jenkins makes the cross diamond throw in time. So Bertoft got what he wanted out of Weckman, which is a pulled grounder, and Ryan Jenkins makes that throw, and just like that, Brian Bertoft retires the first 3 squeeze batters he sees tonight, as Leesburg is still up by 2 after 3.5. Gabriel Vargas still in the game for the Winter Garden Squeeze. I'm sure unless he manages to work through this inning quickly, we'll see if head coach Mike McDaniel keeps him in the game. First pitch sails just high of Ledger Pleasant's zone. So that'll be pitch number 59, and now number 60 is in for strike number 1. Second baseman for Leesburg made it all the way to second his first time up. Now that one almost by his head. That'll be a 2-1 count now. Vargas barely has more strikes than balls, 34-27 ratio to be exact. And now Ledger Pleasant flies this one high into left center, but Michael Thomas ranges and makes the catch. So put the F9 down for Ledger Pleasant, but my goodness, that almost dropped.
Yeah, good job by the left fielder Thomas to go and grab that really hard hit off the bat of Pleasant, and great communication by Thomas and this center fielder Zach Walker as well. Walker had a beat on it, but then gave up. Thomas was a little bit closer.
Thomas had the speed to make that happen as Vargas fires that one into the zone for strike 1 to Trey Kraft. Trey Kraft had a swinging strikeout on a full count to end the second inning for Leesburg, but obviously they are up by 2, so not a whole lot of harm foul, but a swing and a miss there to make it 0-2 for the catcher tonight. Taking a look at Trey Kraft's numbers from the summer, only batting .174, 4 hits, 3 RBIs, 13 walks. As he'll be sat down on 3 pitches, he goes down looking.
Yeah, Kraft hasn't been the biggest bat for the Lightning, but he's drawn a ton of walks. Actually now leads the team with 13 and has scored 12 runs. So he has been productive in many other instances and has been tough to keep off of the base paths and has that 1 double, driven in 3.
Yeah, we saw him steal second and third towards the end of yesterday's second game of the doubleheader. That one barely misses the zone there from Vargas, and it looks like head coach Mike McDaniel is going to try to get the 4th inning out of Vargas and preserve the arms, especially with him working so quickly here, breaking pitch into the zone.
Yeah, he really is working quickly now. Already ready to go against Ryan Jenkins. Not trying to let the Lightning bats dictate how fast he wants to go.
The 1-1 drops into the dirt, so Jenkins will now be ahead in the count here against Vargas. But yeah, you mentioned it. He's seemingly picked up his pace here in this 4th inning. It's a full 9-inning game tonight as opposed to yesterday's 2 7-innings. That one way high and inside. It'll be a favorable hitter's count coming up. That one called for strike 2. Jenkins trying to sell that to RJ Diet behind home plate, but nonetheless it'll be a full count. And the payoff is grounded over to second. Marlowe picks it up and gets it in time. He had to keep himself from slipping again. That's the second time that Marlowe's cleats have, I'm not sure if it's his cleats or what's going on in that portion of the infield, but good on him for keeping his balance, turning the 4-3 and retiring the side in order, as the Squeeze will need some momentum heading into the bottom of the 4th, or the top of the 5th, trailing by 2. Chuck Berry serenades us into the 5th inning here at Pat Thomas Stadium. As the sun is setting, the lights are shining a little bit brighter as we are in the last about 20 minutes or so of daylight here in Leesburg, Florida with Vic Masley. I'm Ricky Potts here at Buddy Lowe Field. Derek Lopez set to lead off this 5th inning for the Winter Garden Squeeze after singling and then scoring back in the 3rd. He watches ball 1 go by. Lopez was the first run of the game for Winter Garden. Bertoft fires that one to the inside portion of the zone. That is only going to be the 16th pitch of Bertoft's relief of Dustin Dunlap. Now that one, a breaking ball, almost looked like a slider of sorts that goes low and outside. The 2-1 pitch breaks and drops just inside.
Yeah, good miss. Not too far off the plate. Just want to see not so many full counts.
Right.
Bertoft is pretty good at working quick.
Hitter's count is yanked foul by Derek Lopez. That would have been 2 for 2 for the extra hitter, but nonetheless, it'll be another full count. And by my count, we've had.
Yeah, and it would have been a 2-bagger too.
At least 5, maybe 6 full counts tonight, but at least 5 across both sides, and the payoff is fouled off. Lopez trying to stay in this one. Actually switched jersey numbers with Zacharias Walker about a week ago. They both decided that better fits. And that one a swing and a miss by Derek Lopez. It was tipped foul, but nonetheless, he'll go down swinging for out number 1 of the 5th inning. That'll bring up the shortstop, Isaac Incinelli, who struck out swinging himself back in the 3rd.
Yeah, Bertoft showing off his strikeout material. He's done a good job at that all season. And it's interesting you mentioned they changed jerseys because they're so close in number. What is it, 24 and 26?
36 and 1,
Oh,
actually. Yeah, it was.
What?
Yeah, they decided to switch jersey numbers because they felt that the respective numbers, at least because they only came in set sizes, that there was no multiple sizes for each number, so they decided that they fit each other better.
Right, I was confusing Iverson and Vargas.
I get what you mean.
So I was about to say, those should be the same size, 24 and 26. But, yeah, that makes way more sense. Obviously, yeah, 30s as opposed to one should be a small.
Right, and I think we might have had some lower numbers in some bigger sizes whenever we were giving out the jerseys before the beginning of the season. Incinelli fouls that one off. But, yeah, like I said, they all just came in set sizes. We set them up along the bleachers over at Olympia High School and just said, look, this row is mediums, this is large, extra large, and extra large if you need it. Obviously, we didn't have to use any double X's, but nonetheless, even 2-2 pitch coming up. Bertoft forces another foul ball.
And that's why we see the Lightning players 1 through 10 all are fairly smaller players. Jenkins wears number 1, Fitzgerald wears number 2. On the mound, Bertoft, a pretty small guy. Barrett isn't too big. Del Negro, Thurman, all smaller guys. I don't know if it's a small. The 1 through 10 numbers might be a medium. Yeah, they are a medium. I was about to say, I don't think anyone's wearing a small here. That would make me feel really bad about myself.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of these guys are at a minimum, 5'6", 5'7", but still an even 2-2 pitch after Incinelli fouls that one off. This is coming up on the 7th pitch of this at-bat. Bertoft throws a breaking ball outside.
Really good pitch by Bertoft. Nice slider. Tried to backdoor it a little bit and just creep inside into the plate and get Incinelli on a frozen pizza, but Good job by Isaac not biting at that.
Incidentally, lines that one out into center. Irizarry dives and makes the catch. Looks like he might have slightly misjudged it. That's why he had to fall and grab it, but nonetheless, good on him for forcing the second straight out of this top of the fifth.
Yeah, and even though that was more of a line drive, pop out or fly out to center field, it seemed like he got a little bit over on it, which causes the ball to spin. It has some top spin, and then it will kind of die as it gets to Irizarry in center field. That's why he came in on it, but he had to come in just a little bit more, but made the grab, no problem.
Calzadilla watches strike one go by. That one right down the pipe for the third baseman. He got a single his last time up in the third inning and scored run number 2 of the game for Winter Garden. And now that one way inside. It looks like he thought he got nicked by it, but home plate umpire says nope.
Yeah, I'm surprised Calzadilla just didn't throw the bat and start jogging down to first base. A lot of times the umpires will kind of oblige and be like, all right, maybe that got a piece of you.
Well, Calzadilla pops this one up high into shallow foul territory, and it actually finds the stands. Ryan Jenkins doing his job and trying to chase it over, but nonetheless, it went over the fence. So Calzadilla is now behind in the count here against Brian Bertoft. Grounds that one up the middle for another base hit. He beats the throw out from the shortstop, Grant Jordan. Javier Calzadilla, just like that, 2 for 2 tonight.
Ball losing some speed as it skipped over the mound past Bertoft, and that's why Jordan was able to get there, but going to be a base hit all the way.
Yeah, that was a slow roller up the middle. You saw Jordan had to get it at the back of the base path, but nonetheless, the count will reset, as will the lineup. Dominic Donatucci returns to home plate. Breaking ball into the higher middle of the zone for strike number 1. Good pitch there by Bertoft.
Yep, Donatucci providing that 2 RBI single back in the third inning, and that's how the Squeeze have their 2 lone runs. Scoring was Lopez and Calzadilla.
Pickoff attempt unsuccessful by Bertoft. Another sweeper goes low and away. Good discipline by Dominic Donatucci.
Yeah, Bertoft yanked that one just a little bit. If it releases a bit early, it starts on the inner half of the plate and then ends as a strike. Whoa.
And now Dominic Donatucci accidentally loses his bat, flings it towards his own dugout. They're going to get him a new bat. They say that one is now a dud.
I don't know. Maybe they're just trying to find out where it went.
Well, because it looked like it hit the front caging that's in front of the third base dugout, but he'll actually head in there and grab himself a new one. They're going to, I don't think he wants to use that bat anymore, but
I think he is using the same one. He's just putting some tar on it. Obviously, after losing the grip of it, I want to get some sticky stuff on there so that won't happen again. And yeah, just using basic pine tar, I would assume. A lot of guys opt for the sticky spray. It's kind of new, but obviously a lot less gross and a lot less, difficult to deal with. Pine tar just gets everywhere.
Absolutely. 1-2 pitch breaks low for ball 2.
I think that's why players have to go through so many batting gloves, is because they have pine tar all over them. They just get crusty, and obviously when it's not sticky anymore, it's really gross to kind of deal with, and it will make the batting glove itself really, just stale.
2-2 is lined right into the glove of Grant Jordan. Makes a little hop up to get it, but nonetheless, he stops that one from finding left center field, which would have advanced Calzadilla to second, but nonetheless, Bertoft gets through this part of the order in just 4 batters, as Leesburg is still up by 2 heading into the bottom of the 5th here at Pat Thomas. Welcome back to the bottom of the fifth here at Pat Thomas Stadium as this four-game set between the Leesburg Lightning and the Winter Garden Squeeze is split at 1 apiece. New pitcher on the mound for the Squeeze. It'll be number 8, Zachary Allen. Taking a look at his numbers so far this summer. 4 appearances, all have been reliefs. First one he throws is in for strike 1 to Julian Irizarry. He's pitched 7 1/3 innings this summer, allowed 11 hits, 5 runs, 2 of those earned, 4 walks, 6 strikeouts. Should say 5 walks, that is. So obviously Allen can get the Ks when he needs to, but he'll want to bring down that hit number especially. So 0-2 count coming up here for Irizarry. It's grounded over to Marlowe, picks it up, has no problem getting it to Stafford in time. He had to extend his arm out to get that one, but nonetheless, the 4-3 is turned. Luckily, he did not slip that time. We've seen Marlowe find some slippery spots out there on the base paths, but nonetheless, 1 up, 1 down for the Lightning.
The Lightning, a lot of success on June 21st in recent years. Haven't played since 2022, but 5 straight wins from 2016 to 2022. 4 of them against the DeLand Suns. So that's odd. 4 straight games on the 21st against the Suns, and then Winter Park back on June 21st, 2022. And overall, looks like the team is 6-5 on June 21st, dating back to the first year that the Lightning were created back in 07.
1-1 is low and inside for strike number 2. Cole Bullen, the extra hitter, now behind here against Zachary Allen. Breaking ball swung on and missed. Big cut there by Bullen, but Zachary Allen had his number. That'll go down as a swinging strikeout, and 2 up, 2 down for Winter Garden's reliever.
Yep, still like Cole Bullen being aggressive at the plate, taking a big hack at it. Just unfortunately came up empty.
So the first baseman, Juan Orozco, will make his 3rd appearance of the evening. Breaking ball is low and away. He's 1 for 2 today. Reached bases last time up and eventually scored as part of that 3-run 3rd. And now Pines loses that one in the dirt. 2 away for the visitors as we are firmly under the lights here in Leesburg, Florida. 2-0 pitch is lined out into right field for a base hit. Orozco does it again, gets himself safely on first base.
I love that. Baseball is just so interesting. I was talking earlier about how Orozco, pretty much all of his extra base hits have been pull side to left field, and he's able to hit a base hit into right field and hitting it where it's pitched. Got a ball in the outer half and able to extend his bat and not do too much with it. Just get a simple base hit. And for a guy like Orozco, a lot of power. Sometimes you get caught up in that and just want to smash everything. And now looking at that replay, the ball was over the middle of the plate, so it seemed like Orozco a little bit late to swing, brought his hands through and was able to hit it on the barrel and just hit it opposite field. So good job by him making that adjustment.
And now this one goes opposite field, but Michael Thomas tracks it and makes the catch in the middle of the outfield. So Charlie Keller flies out into left field. Michael Thomas makes the final out of this 5th inning. Orozco gets on base, but they cannot bring him around as Leesburg still is up 4-2 after 5. We're through 5 here at Buddy Lowe Field at Pat Thomas Stadium. New reliever on the mound for the Leesburg Lightning, Steven Rojas, coming in for Brian Bertoft.
Rojas, one of the newer additions to the Lightning, has an inflated ERA. Same with Bertoft, 6.75. Just has 2 appearances. Only pitched an inning and a third. He's given up no hits, 1 earned run, 2 runs have come across to score, 4 walks. That's been his issue so far, and just the 2 strikeouts. But he is a hard-throwing right-handed pitcher, so it's going to be very hard for the squeeze. After seeing Brian Bertoft, who really doesn't get up past 80 miles per hour, we see him maybe topping out at 80, 81, but Bertoft doesn't really need it. He's got so much spin on the ball. But Rojas, as he fires in a strike, he can get it up towards the low 90s, and like I said, it's going to be tough for the squeeze to adjust to that.
Yeah, he really winds it back. Another one in for a strike. My goodness, he is coming out hot here against the 6th innings leadoff hitter, Jordan Marlowe.
And his stats surprised me a little bit during the collegiate season. At Pasco, he pitched really well. At Tampa, not so much, but just had 14 and a third innings pitched at Tampa back in 2024, 6.28 ERA.
Marlowe grounds it over to second. Ledger Pleasant makes the routine 4-3 play happen. So one steps up, one is sat down by Steven Rojas. That'll bring up the catcher, Drew Pines. Marlowe had been 0 for 2, and now that makes him 0 for 3. So he will look to get his bat going again after having that solid day against Winter Park almost a week ago at this point when he went 3 for 4. But nonetheless, the Week 2 Player of the Week, Drew Pines, steps up to the plate, fouls the first pitch he sees back.
And after Tampa with that 6.28 ERA, had a 2.88 ERA at Pasco Hernando in 25 innings pitched, so a lot better. And just off to a little bit of a rocky start, but 1 and a third innings pitched. It was that first appearance back on June 7th where he struggled. It was just days after he came to Leesburg, and Rich Billings likes to get his guys in immediately. But in just a third of an inning, gave up 1 earned run after 2 walks. Just very interesting. No hits given up. 2 runs did score. I believe that runners were inherited when he came into the game. But then that last appearance back on the 13th, an inning pitched. No hits, no runs, 1 hit by pitch, couple walks, but also 2 strikeouts.
That one called for strike 2, so Drew Pines has now found himself in a full count here against the flamethrower Rojas. Now the payoff. Outside, so Drew Pines reaches base for the 2nd consecutive time after singling back in the 3rd. He'll walk here with only 1 out on the board, and that'll bring up the left fielder Michael Thomas, who walked his first time up and then flew out to center field back in the 3rd inning. But like you said, different pitcher for the squeeze here. That one finds the lower portion of the zone for strike number 1. And watching Rojas during his on-field warm-up, I mean, yeah, he really has that winding motion. Breaking ball. What a great pitch from Steven Rojas. Misses the bat of Michael Thomas. We saw that start about chest high on the left side and then drop to about ankle high down on the right. And now that one just barely misses for ball 1.
Not much, and it was a really good pitch by Rojas. And that last at bat to Pine seemed like he was just overthrowing a little bit, trying to do too much. And has struggled with walks, has given up 2 in each of his appearances.
Pines very cautious with his lead. Michael Thomas fouls that one off.
And Thomas has put together back-to-back really great at-bats. Drew a walk in the 2nd, a long at-bat, and then a long at-bat again in the 3rd, and was just 4 or 5 feet away from hitting a home run to dead center, and that's really tough to do here at Pat Thomas Stadium. Probably about 375 to dead center. Take a brief timeout here. Yeah, I think Thomas just going to collect himself with this offensive timeout. Don't see it a ton. The umpire giving him plenty of time. It seems like his shoulder or something hurting him a little bit as he's winding up. But yeah, I just saw him call time. Back on this replay.
Still a 1-2 count coming up here for Thomas. 1 out, 1 runner on base for the Squeeze. Rojas' pitch is just high of the zone. Back-to-back, not back-to-back necessarily, but the last 2 that have not been fouled off have been barely outside of the zone. So Thomas still down to his last strike. Swings on that one, but bloops it foul. That was an interesting sound that the bat made there.
Like,
yeah, they're going to
he
have
broke
to.
it.
Yeah, he did break that bat. I was going to say that did not sound like your normal bat crack.
Hit it kind of towards his fingers and split it almost in, well, split in half. I wouldn't say split in half, but splintered
right
in the halfway part of the bat. And one more swing of that bat, and it's going to be completely in half. So has to get a new piece of lumber. Hopefully this one won't have as much luck.
Breaking pitch misses Thomas's bat again. So Rojas gets him on the same one, sits him down swinging for out number 2. Steven Rojas looking very solid thus far.
Really good breaking ball from Rojas, able to get Thomas with a chase. A little surprised because Thomas seemed to have great plate discipline in his first 2 at-bats. But that breaking ball has got a lot of late bite, a lot of vertical movement, which you talked about, and some horizontal break as well. When you throw that hard, it just makes the breaking ball that much better.
He gets that one past Sean Stafford. Back-to-back missed swings forced here by Rojas. Stafford's first time up, he belted a double out into left center and then grounded out to the first baseman who had to throw it back to Orozco, and he misses again.
He's just dialed right now, pumping it down the zone. Almost wanted to say that before when he was facing Pines and getting deep into the count. Just blow that fastball right by him. And it's easier said than done, of course. Right. And Pines is a really good hitter, but after seeing Bertoft, who throws a lot slower, that fastball, it's going to be tough to catch up.
0-2 inside. You're right. That's obviously a big thing that the Squeeze batters are going to have to look for here in Rojas's relief of Bertoft, trying to, catch up to his speed. They still trail by 2 with 4 innings left to play.
I think a fastball up here.
As Stafford bloops this one, it's going to drop in shallow left field. That one found the sweet spot, and he'll be at first safely with a base hit. Pines moves over to second, and there's still 2 outs here for the Squeeze.
Unlucky for Fitzgerald, shaded pretty far back. Thought he had a beat on it, but had to hold up at the last second. Those plays, you want to minimize damage, of course, if he slides. I don't think that one was hit too far on a line for it to get way past him, but might have resulted in an extra bag for Pines at second.
That one barely finds the outside of the zone for Zach Walker. Walker, despite hitting fairly solid in yesterday's doubleheader, has yet to reach base today. Grounded out to short and then flew out to center. Swing and a miss by the center fielder, Steven Rojas, really blowing by these Squeeze bats here in his first inning of relief. 2 outs, 2 runners on base, and an 0-2 count for Rojas. He forces another foul ball.
Squeeze have a lot of guys that can go deep into counts, spoil pitches, and making the pitchers work, and that's what we're seeing here against Rojas. First it was Thomas, now it's Stafford. So first Thomas, now Stafford.
Another one fouled off.
How about a nice breaking ball here, get him to chase.
And that one gets him. Late movement on the pitch sits down Zacharias Walker, who is now 0 for 3 at the plate today. And just like that, Steven Rojas gets through this portion of the Squeeze batting order, while the Lightning are still up by 2. We are through 5.5 here in Leesburg, Florida, as the Winter Garden Squeeze still trail the Leesburg Lightning 4-2 here at Pat Thomas Stadium. Ricky Potts and Vic Masley here as we narrate the stories of these respective 2025 Lightning and Squeeze teams. Steven Rojas came into relief in the top of the 6th for Brian Bertoft, struck out the last 2 outs. Zachary Allen still on the mound for the Squeeze, and now he's forced 2 straight strikes here against Marco Moises.
Moises, quiet 2-hit night for him.
Breaking ball in for ball number 1. Allen only needed 4 batters to retire the side back in the 5th. And now throws that one outside, trying to get Moises to chase. And now Moises watches that one sail low and away. So it'll be a full count to kick things off here in this bottom of the 6th. And the payoff is hit out into right center field. It'll drop for a base hit. Good job by Moises to pull that one into the outfield and get himself a single.
3 for 3, 3 singles, and Moises obviously not happy that his reached base streaks came to an end a couple games ago. That was at 13.
Wow.
So that's unfortunate. And of course, 6-game hit streak was his longest, and that went away as well. So good to see him with a 3-hit night, making up for some lost time. And it's quieted off since his Lightning Player of the Week in the first week.
Grant Jordan pops this one up into right field. Braden Weckman makes the catch for out number 1. And speaking of streaks, is Joe DiMaggio's hit streak the most unbreakable record in baseball? It's got to be at least top 3.
Yeah. Yeah, it's probably, I would say, yeah, I think you're right. It's the hardest to beat, especially nowadays with pitchers.
Absolutely. This one lined out into left, drops safely for another single. Riley Fitzgerald takes that one the opposite way. Another blooper from Fitzgerald to get himself on base safely.
Yeah, Mariano Rivera's saves record.
That is true. That is absolutely true.
That's a tough one to beat as well.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, like you said, with how much better pitchers have gotten over time, I mean, getting a hit in that many consecutive games, it's almost unheard of. But this one's grounded over to short. Antonelli fires it to Stafford in time for the second out. Good decision by Antonelli rather than trying to force the double play. So it'll be runners at second and third for the Leesburg Lightning as Moises moves over to third while Fitzgerald takes scoring position, and the catcher Trey Kraft, who is 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts today, will look to change that around here in the bottom of the 6th.
Well, I don't know why I didn't say this before, but obviously the home run record.
Oh, of course, yeah.
The real one by Hank Aaron, 755, but I guess if we're counting Barry Bonds in there too, it's higher. But yeah, I don't think anyone's beating that. But
I remember, I forgot who it was, but actually I think it was the family of Roger Maris, who whenever Aaron Judge broke the American League record, he obviously had to, or that family obviously had to get their say in and say this is the real record for most home runs hit in a season. But to each their own, 2-1 count.
That was the first. Sorry, that was the first put out by Antonelli at short.
And a swing and a miss there by Kraft. Yeah, that's true.
I don't know if any of these fielders' choices have been over there either. There's only been one.
Yeah, that's the first. Yep.
There's been 2 fielders' choice, but yeah, I'm not sure. I think that Antonelli just had a really quiet night.
Yeah, there's been one for Grant Jordan on the other side. Good discipline there by Trey Kraft to watch ball 3 go high and away. But a lot of these putouts have obviously been 5-3s and 4-3s tonight. Full count pitch with 2 strikes. Leesburg down to its last pitch, and Trey Kraft ropes that one, but foul.
Man, we all 3 up here were trying to will that to be fair. That was a good swing by Trey Kraft. Right size, just wrong shape.
Yeah, that one, if he had just waited a millisecond later, that would have landed fair and most likely scored both Fitzgerald and Moises. But again, Leesburg potentially down to its last pitch as Trey Kraft fouls another one off.
Good fight by him. Leads the team in walks now at 13, so he knows how, tied with Ryan Jenkins, but he knows how to get on base.
Coming up on the 8th pitch of this at-bat for number 8, Zachary Allen, who fires that one low and away. Trey Kraft takes the 90-foot jog over to first base and loads the bases here for Leesburg. It'll bring up the third baseman, Ryan Jenkins, for his 4th plate appearance of the evening. Struck out looking to begin the game, singled and then scored in the 3rd inning, and then obviously grounded out to second back in the 4th off of a full count pitch. So we'll see how he fares here against Allen, who fires that one in for strike number 1.
And with that walk, Trey Kraft now in the sole lead for walks by the Lightning batters at 14. Ryan Jenkins at 13. Moises has 12. And going into that doubleheader, Moises actually had the most with 12. But a couple guys have surpassed that.
1-1 count for number 1. Watches that one go low.
And with Jenkins' single back in the 3rd inning, he has now reached base safely in 17 straight games. So that's all but 1. Grounded
to second. Marlowe gets another putout here in this contest. So he converts the 4-3. That's the 2nd straight appearance that Jenkins has been put out by the second baseman to end an inning. First in the 4th, and now here in the 6th. So that'll be it for my play-by-play duties for the evening. But when we come back, Vic Masley will take over as Leesburg still maintains its 2-run lead 2/3 of the way through this contest.
Top of the 7th inning here at Pat Thomas Stadium. New hurler for the Lightning. It's Carson Henriksen on. And he's one of the many, actually, Lightning pitchers that has struggled out of the gate, reasonably so. A lot of guys still not receiving that much playing time this past spring, and that's exactly why they're here, to get some playing time under Coach Billings. 6.14 ERA in 4 appearances, a 1-0 win-loss record, 7 1/3 innings pitched, 6 hits, 5 earned runs, just 2 walks, and 10 strikeouts. So definitely can get some punch-outs and has good command of the zone. Just been hit around a little bit here and there. First pitch he throws misses as Braden Weckman squared to bunt but pulled it back. Haven't seen Henriksen in over a week. Last time out was June 13th. Pitched an inning and 2/3, gave up 1 hit, no runs, a double, got 2 strikeouts, didn't give up a walk either, as that one's out of play, foul.
Hey, and the current bullpen pitcher for the Squeeze warming up caught that.
Looks like we might have a pinch hitter at the dish, trying to get a number.
Yeah, it looks like this is Nico Banez, just judging by stature. It is.
Yeah, Nico Banez, number 13, will be pinch hitting for Weckman. Notice that didn't really look like Weckman. Weckman, obviously a righty, so should have noticed that a little bit sooner.
Yeah, yep, this is Nico Banez.
He's in a 1-2 count versus Henriksen, the pitch. Just a bit off the plate. Saw Banez in both of the games yesterday.
Yeah, he fielded in one of them, extra hit in the other.
Played in center. 2-2, breaking ball. Oh! Whoa. Trey Kraft was taking a couple steps towards third, ready to throw it down. Henriksen was taking a couple steps off the mound, and that was not a called strike. Of course, no umpire likes that too much. So it'll be a payoff pitch from Henriksen. Here it is. Hit well to left field. Going back is Fitzgerald. He throws up the glove and grabs it for out number 1. So Henriksen will have to settle for a flyout instead of the strikeout. And that will bring up Derek Lopez.
Yeah, Banez got himself a full count immediately right out the gate, but obviously did not get enough on that one to fly it back to the warning track. That'll bring up Derek Lopez, who's 1 for 2 today with a single, a run scored, and a strikeout.
First pitch he sees is a called strike. Henriksen struggled in his first 3 appearances, but as of late has looked really good. His first one gave up 1 run in 2 innings, and 1 2/3 with no runs given up in his last time out, as this is rocketed into left field. Fitzgerald going back. He is under it and makes the grab for out number 2. So a couple of loud outs off the bats of Banez and Lopez, but both into the glove of Riley Fitzgerald. It's quickly 2 down.
Yeah, Derek Lopez has basically, every time he's gotten contact on the ball, it seems like he's hit it out that way, but obviously once again did not get enough on that one to avoid the F7.
Isaac Incinelli will bat. He's 0 for 2, a strikeout in the 3rd, a fly out in the 5th. Takes a big hack and miss at that by Carson Henriksen. Henriksen, 5'11", 160. 0-1, big cut and a miss again. Similar stature to Brian Bertolft and similar speeds, I would say. I think Henriksen is maybe a little bit more around the mid-80s to Brian Bertolft, but a drop-off from what the squeeze batters saw in Steven Rojas. 0-2, swung on and missed. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night. Carson Henriksen throws a 1-2-3 inning and sends us into the stretch. It's still a 4-2 lead for the Lightning and a chance to add some more insurance when we come back. bottom half of the 7th inning, some defensive replacements, including a new pitcher for the Squeeze. Nico Banez, who hit for Braden Weckman, is in left field. Brady White takes over for Braden Weckman. Nico Banez hit for Braden Weckman, but is playing in left for Michael Thomas, who comes out of the game. Brady White moves to right field in place of Braden Weckman, and Blake Rabins, the new pitcher for the Squeeze.
Yeah, Rabins so far has made 5 relief appearances and has the second best ERA of any Squeeze pitcher, starter, or reliever at 1.92. First pitch obviously low and away there. So he's pitched 9 1/3 innings, allowed 8 hits, 3 runs, 2 of those earned, 4 walks, and 6 strikeouts. So obviously not going to be the biggest strikeout guy, but he can force the weak contact.
Almost hit Irizarry as he backs him off the plate. It's Irizarry, Bolin, and Orozco. Squeeze have used 3 pitchers. The Lightning have used 4. To Irizarry. Floated softly to left field. Coming on is Banez. He's not going to get there. Irizarry takes a big turnaround first, but he'll head back. Didn't skip too far away from Banez trying to come in and make the play. Hit into no man's land. Not much he could do about it, similar to Fitzgerald. That dropped right in front of him a couple innings ago.
Yeah, good Oppo blooper out into the middle of the outfield. Banez obviously trying to make a dive for it, but it looked like Irizarry thought about racing for second, but obviously making the safe decision up 2.
So the batter now, Cole Bolin, struck out in his last at-bat in the 5th. Takes a big hack, that first pitch by Rabins. Other than that, a productive night, a walk, and then a RBI single back in the 3rd. Chance to add some insurance runs for the Lightning. Game has sped up since the 5 total runs scored back in the 3rd inning. And a late called strike to Cole Bolin.
Yeah, that was really late. But nonetheless, Bolin behind in the count here against Rabins with runner on base and no outs.
Here's Zari, a pretty short lead at first. 0-2, Bolin just gets a piece of it.
Yeah, so Rabins' best outing of this summer came against, looks like the DeLand Suns back on June 7th when he pitched a full inning and only gave up 1 hit, had 2 strikeouts.
0-2, Pines just barely able to grab it. One ball, 2 strikes to Bolin as he's in a hole. Lightning have another reliever up in the bullpen. Ball gets away. Great jump by Irizarry. Here is the throw. It's good, but not good enough. The speedy center fielder able to get it in there safely, but Pines has made a couple of throws that have been way closer than they should have been, I will say.
Absolutely, and again, in that situation, you lose the ball, you're trying to recover. I mean, again, those throws could go anywhere, but he's managed to keep them safely at the second base bag, but at the same time, I understand what he's trying to do. He's trying to get Irizarry out and show off his arm, but at the same time, if you see him all the way down there, maybe hold off.
2-2, grounded out to second. This should move the runner over. Marlowe delivers a strike to first. Bolin is retired. Irizarry heads to third. 1 down. Batter Orozco.
And into the plate for the Lightning, number 11, Orozco.
His fielder's choice back in the 3rd. Plated the second run for the Lightning as Irizarry came around to score and has a chance to knock in Irizarry again. The infield is in. Trying to protect that precious 5th run from scoring. First pitch misses. Great stop by Pines.
Yeah, Pines has really had to work tonight. Obviously so important as a catcher. And by my count, that was at least the 5th putout that Jordan Marlowe has forced tonight.
Yeah, he's been really busy. Incinelli's very quiet. 1-0, popped up into right field. Should be deep enough. Brady White is under it. Irizarry will tag. The throw will be cut off, and the Lightning take a 5-2 lead.
Good sacrifice fly there by Juan Orozco. He took Brady White just enough deep into the outfield to the point where he could not make that throw. So good sacrifice fly from the first baseman.
2 RBIs for Orozco on just the one base hit. Both of his RBIs have come with an out, though. Well, not necessarily an out, excuse me. Orozco did have that fielder's choice, so he reached base, but an out was involved, and this time he was put out by Brady White in right field, but a run does come across. Charlie Keller, the batter. Base is empty, 2 down. Big swing and a miss. A lot of different guys in the lineup helping out for the Lightning. Going to be tough to choose the Lightning player of the game. Jenkins has a base hit, stolen base. He came around to score. Irizarry has a couple hits. He scored twice. Cole Bullen has an RBI single. Check swing from Keller. He didn't go. Orozco is the only one to have 2 RBIs, but he just has the one base hit. So it's going to be tough, but that's a good thing to have. 3 balls, 1 strike to Keller. Here it is. Off the plate, ball 4. And it will extend the inning. Marco Moises will have a chance to add on to his 3-hit night. He's another nomination.
Yeah, he will be a nomination for Lightning and League Player of the Night, barring any other circumstances around the league. But good play discipline there from Charlie Keller. He essentially replaces where Irizarry was earlier in the inning, but nonetheless, Ravens slightly struggling here against the Lightning batters as they have padded their run, put it up to 3 with only 2 innings left after this.
1-0 to Moises, called strike. Looking across the league, the River Rats have extended their lead. It's 9-2 as they're about to put the final touches on that game against the Diamond Dogs. And
wow,
if the lead holds and they win that ball game, they will have the new record as the runner Charlie Keller goes. Pitcher Rabin steps off. The throw is in time. They get Keller at second base. The throw is towards the third base side, and Keller is tagged out. So that kills the threat, takes the bat out of Moises' hands, and will send us to the 8th inning. The Lightning do get another run. It's 5-2 as we head to the 8th. Top of the 8th inning, new pitcher on for the Lightning. It's one of their best arms out of the bullpen. Blake Tipmore comes in to face the Squeeze. He'll face 10, 1, and 2, starting with Javier Casadilla. And he throws a first pitch strike so far. Tipmore, 1.80 ERA, one of the best ERAs in the league. 6 appearances so far, 2-0. 10 innings pitched on the dot, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, 7 walks, and 15 strikeouts.
Wow. Yeah, Tipmore has really been a mainstay for this Lightning team, and this has been easily the best night of the season for Javier Casadilla, 2 for 2 with 2 singles and a run scored.
Tough batter to get out, and he might not do it here. Riley Fitzgerald comes in, and he's going to have to play it on a hop. So it's a 3-hit night for Calzadilla. Him and Moises swinging a hot stick.
Yeah, hat trick for the Winter Gardens shortstop. And this is exactly what he needs to bring those numbers of the summer back up.
Tipmore, 6 foot 210. So he faces the top of the order. His last time out was back on the 17th. Pitched an inning, gave up 2 hits, 1 earned run. And that home run, that was when the bases were loaded. He was put into the game and gave up a grand slam. Hit the other way, caught by Orozco. He steps on first, double play.
That happened yesterday. We saw that happen yesterday with Isaac and Sinelli. Orozco forcing another one.
He has been really good at first base, making it look like another hot corner. And you said it. That's the second time we've seen Orozco do that, and nothing Javier Calzadilla could do. You're getting a lead, and there's just nothing you could do. A great play by Orozco. Makes it look so easy.
I mean, as a base runner, you don't want to just, stand on the bag until the pitch is being ready to be thrown. It's your job to have a lead, but at the same time, you never know where the ball is going to go. So when that happens, you have no choice but to surrender yourself.
You're exactly right. I don't know if we got the view of that on the stream, but it was a really good play by Orozco. Wasn't the hardest hit ball, but anything hard hit at first base is going to be tough to grab, and he made it look so easy.
Yeah, catching a liner just, at least for me, because I didn't grow up playing baseball, but just watching infielders catch liners, it's insane.
1-1 count to Jordan Marlowe.
And just like that, the Lightning have once again diminished the threat.
Looks like it's actually a pinch hitter for Marlowe, if I'm not mistaken.
Actually, yes. Yes. This will be Jack Waddingham in for Jordan Marlowe in this penultimate inning. Number 18, Jack Waddingham.
2-1, misses up high.
Taking a look at Waddingham's numbers so far for the summer. He doesn't have as many games played or at-bats. He was a late addition.
Has a favorable hitter's count. Swings right over the top of that by Blake Tipmore.
So far this summer, Waddingham only has 1 hit in his 5 games that he's played in. 1 run scored, 1 walk.
3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 down. Here it is from Tipmore. Cold strike 3. Tipmore gets Jack Waddingham and freezes him on the outer part of the plate. And after that double play by Orozco, he faces just 3 batters and works around the leadoff base hit. Sends us to the bottom of the 8th inning. Last chance for the Lightning to add some more padding to their 5-2 lead. We'll see you in the bottom half of the 8th. Bottom of the 8th inning, it's still Ravens out there. He'll face Marco Moises, whose at bat got cut short after the pickoff to Charlie Keller to get him at second base. But there is a defensive substitution. Dominic Donatucci goes from extra hitter to second baseman to relieve Jordan Marlowe. Jack Waddingham, who hit for Marlowe, will now be the extra hitter, replacing Donatucci's bat. But of course, Donatucci will still be able to hit. Quickly 0-2 to Moises. Pitch from Ravens. Here it is. Misses up and away.
Yeah, Moises has basically been the hitter of the night for the Lightning. The only thing he really hasn't done is scored himself, but
1-2 hit the other way, foul. Another chance for the squeeze bullpen. They can't grab it.
yeah, he tried to one-hand that one, but no, let the kids have it.
One, two misses downstairs to Moises.
Yeah, good take there by Marco.
He's the Lightning Player of the Week in the first week. Settled down a little bit, but still a great hitter for Leesburg. So he gets lucky with that one, 3-2. Still, excuse me, after the double header, he's now hitting 273, but he came into that doubleheader hitting 308. He crushes this one to right field, but playable for Banez, who makes the grab, one down.
Yeah, good routine play to force the F7 there. That's the first time that Moises has not reached base or got a hit tonight.
Next up for the Lightning, number 31.
But I think he'll take a 3-for-4 night.
Yeah, that'll do.
Especially, you know, being up 3 late and everything.
Grant Jordan is the batter. First pitch called strike by Ravens. See, that last ball to left field, not right field. I could get some signs out here telling me left field and right.
It's like whenever you're reversing a car, you have to, you know, sometimes turn it the other way to,
I agree.
to go the way you want. But
Jordan in 0-2 hole. Last chance for the Lightning to pad their lead. 0-2 offering. Ground ball out to short. Another chance for Incinelli. Low throw, but picked out by Sean Stafford. And the lack of plays out to short maybe caught up to Incinelli. That was just his second put out.
yeah, and like you said, low throw, but good scoop up there by Sean Stafford over at first. But obviously the squeeze running out of time here as the blooper king of the night steps up.
Yeah. Fitzgerald had a blooper fall in front, two bloopers fall in front of him in left field.
A very solid two-way player for the Lightning. Batting basically 260.
1-0, ground ball over the head of Ravens, fielded by Donatucci. The throw is picked by Stafford. What a play.
What a throw. What a throw by Donatucci.
Steals a base knock from Riley Fitzgerald. And Ravens gets his 1-2-3 inning. Last chance for the squeeze. Top of the ninth coming up. Leesburg leads it 5-2 with a new pitcher coming on for the save. Top of the ninth, last chance for Winter Garden. And it's a new pitcher on for the Lightning, TJ Sokras, a Pitt Panther and a flame-throwing righty. And so far, TJ 3.18 ERA, 5 appearances, 1 save. Has pitched 5 2/3, giving up just 1 hit, 2 earned runs, 7 walks, and 6 strikeouts. And he will have to face Drew Pines, Michael Thomas, and Sean Stafford. Of course, Michael Thomas was replaced by Nico Banez in the field, but we'll see who comes to bat for him.
Yeah, looks like Brady White is on deck.
That's right. 0-1 misses off the plate. White came in to replace Weckman in right field.
Yep.
So, yes, it will be Brady White.
Yeah, and even though they're down 3 with their last 3 outs looming, if there's any bat you want at the plate, it's this one.
Fouled away by Pines. So far on the night, Pines a base hit and a walk, also a fly out. So still pretty quiet considering how hot he was last week.
Yeah.
Last time out for Sokras was on the 14th. A very clean inning. Just 1. 2 strikeouts, no walks, no hits, no runs. And a swing and a miss by Pines. It's a strikeout for the first out, and that will bring up Brady White. And Sokras really unleashes it. He's gotten up to 94 miles per hour. He tracked that with the Yacker Tech at one of the away games. So 94 for him. Jose Paniagua, another flamethrower. We saw Steven Rojas.
Yeah, the Lightning's bullpen has some heat to it. Good body of work there from Sokras to sit down the Week 2 Fcsl Player of the Week.
First pitch to White almost hits him, but it'll just be inside. Just a little surprised because of his velocity that Sokras doesn't have more strikeouts. Of course, 5 2/3 of an inning is not the biggest sample size. Does have 6 strikeouts, but I would think the way he pitches and how, well he commands the zone, it'd be closer to 10. But 6 is still over a strikeout an inning, so not much more you could ask from him.
And especially, obviously he gets to show coaches and scouts that he has that velo, but like you said, it's all about that command.
2-0 offering in the dirt. Quickly 3-0.
Yeah, it looks like he might be working a little too fast here against Brady White. I understand why, but at the same time, let yourself gain control and accurately fire your pitches.
3-0 count to Brady White. Hitting for Michael Thomas. There's a strike. Hitters count still for Brady White. Sean Stafford awaiting on deck. Ball 4, 5-pitch walk to Brady White. And Sean Stafford will bat with a runner aboard at first and still 1 down.
Yeah, Stafford has 2 base hits, a double out into left center, and then that single back in the 6th inning. So we'll see if he can keep this alive for Winter Garden. The tying run is on deck. That's Zacharias Walker over there in the on-deck circle, but obviously Sokras will look to either strike out these last 2 or force a double.
Called strike to Sean Stafford to start the AB. Sokras has only pitched out of the bullpen, no starts. 1 save back on June 7th. Came in the middle of the inning. 2/3 of an inning, no hits, no runs. Did have 2 walks, no strikeouts. So struggled a little bit. Looking for his second save here. The 3-run lead for the Lightning. 5-2 the score. Leesburg 10 hits with those 5 runs. 2 runs on 8 hits for the Squeeze. 0-2 went upstairs with a fastball. Not a bad idea, trying to get Sean Stafford to chase.
Absolutely.
Good night for him, 2 for 3. A double, a single. Just 1 run scored since the 3rd inning for both sides. 1-2, misses again, this time outside. Two balls, 2 strikes. Lightning faithful, trying to help out TJ Sokaros a little bit. Time called by the field umpire. I think it was TJ Sokaros wanting that time called. And now the umpires will meet. We'll see what this is about. I'm looking again to see if Sokaros was the one to call time.
Yeah, head coach McDaniel is heading out there to, I guess, argue his case that maybe it should be a balk because of the pitch clock. I don't think there is one in the league, but
there is one, but they don't have it posted anywhere, so it's really just up to the umpire's discretion. And I don't think it would be a ball more so than it would just be an automatic ball.
Yeah, so it looks like RJ Diet is saying that Sokaros did call for time.
So 2 umpires will now meet. And Sokaros, after that last pitch, did say something to the home plate umpire. I don't know if it was asking for time or whatnot, but of course Mike McDaniel wants to get the show on the road. The tying run is on deck. These are crucial moments of this game.
Yes, they will say that, I guess Sokaros must have called for time.
Umpire's not signaling anything to us up here, so we're assuming it's still going to be a 2-2 count. 1 down, and the runner Brady White is at first. Sokaros, 3 straight balls away from the zone after getting ahead 0-2.
Yeah, this is great discipline here by Stafford. Trey Crafts luckily stopped that one from going to the backstop.
Payoff pitch in the dirt. That's going to be ball 4. Not sure why Stafford's not heading to first base yet, but obviously you won't scream at him to.
Yeah, so I guess we must have...
Maybe they retracted one of the balls, so we're confused up here too.
Yeah, it must have been a miscount on our part. We apologize, but the payoff.
3-2, swung on and missed. And that should be strike 3. The count is 1-2. 1-2. Oh, we have no idea what's going on here.
I guess they must have reset the count.
So it's 1-2. Dan's getting a little antsy. We're getting a little antsy. But yeah, I think you're right. I guess they just reset the count, right?
Yeah, I guess that must...
2-2.
2-2 now. So, yeah, they must have just reset the count during the break.
The batter's Sean Stafford still, right? We got everything. No, it's Zach Walker.
Yeah, it'll be Zacharias Walker. Yeah, Walker is at the plate with a 2-2 count. Because Stafford had the swinging strikeout on the full count. Walker is at the plate.
Oh, they got him on an automatic strike. That was Sean Stafford.
Okay.
Automatic. Why, I wonder? Oh, I guess he wasn't engaged with the pitcher. So the pitch clock doesn't just apply to the pitcher. It applies to the batter, too. Deuce's wild pitch. Fouled away, so we're all out of sorts. So Stafford struck out.
Yeah, and because they can say that batters also sometimes, depending on what happens, take too much time themselves.
But how did we not see him walk back to the dugout?
Yeah, because I thought
2-2, foul tipped into the mitt, and the Lightning win. TJ Sokaros, in a strange sequence of events, strikes out Zach Walker, but all well that ends well, and the Lightning pick up another victory. A save for TJ Sokaros, make that 2. The final score, 5-2. We'll take a short break. We'll come back to wrap everything up. Once again, final score, 5-2. Lightning win, but don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with the totals. Welcome back to Pat Thomas Stadium. Good news, the Lightning win it. 5-2 the final score, and weird sequence of events. We'll break it down because I just got the explanation, but all four of us up here in the booth did not see Sean Stafford walk back to the dugout after the umpires met, and he walked back because it was an automatic strike 3 call after he wasn't engaged with the pitcher. And for those of you at home a little bit confused still, well, there's a pitch clock, and the pitch clock isn't just for the pitcher, but it's also for the batter. The batter has to be engaged with the pitcher.
Wow, okay.
Because then it's just one-sided. Then you have the pitcher ready to go, and the batter's just staring down,
Right.
taking his time, doing his thing, and you can't have that. So the batter has to be engaged within a certain time frame, and so does the pitcher. Obviously, that's where the pitch clock comes into play. So Stafford was out. We didn't notice him walking back to the dugout. Walker was at the dish, and obviously got himself into a 2-strike count, and then eventually foul tipped into the mitt, and the Lightning take this one. So a weird, strange sequence of events that happened, but nonetheless, the Lightning pick up the win. And at first, we saw both pitching staffs do a really good job. I think early on it was Vargas to run into some trouble, giving up 1 run in the second inning, but then it was the Lightning starter Dunlap that ran into trouble. Just gave up the 2 runs, though, in the top of the third. The Lightning were able to answer, score 3 runs themselves, and then it was a stalemate up until the 7th inning. The Lightning were able to scratch across 1 more run. But, Ricky, your thoughts after tonight's game?
Yeah, this was definitely the closest contested game after we saw the 6-1 win by the Squeeze in the first one, and then 10-4 by the Lightning. So they now have a lead on this series, but the Squeeze can still tie it up at 2 apiece on Monday. But yeah, I think just overall, great job by the pitchers in the sense of, even though, say for the Squeeze, they gave up 5, but they forced a lot of putouts throughout the course of the game, as did the Leesburg Lightning. So I will give credit to the pitchers in that sense. Marco Moises and Javier Calzadilla, most likely the 2 hitters of the nights for these respective squads. And I also think that unlike the previous 2 games that these teams played, they did not allow a whole bunch of runs. Obviously 3 given up by the Squeeze in the bottom of the third, but outside of that, not a big onslaught that we saw from yesterday.
Yeah, and 5 runs against the Lightning, that's still pretty good, Ricky. I mean, this is a team that led the league in runs to start the season and is still one of the top teams. But they've just done a great job. So, like I said, 5 runs is not too bad, not too shabby. So Squeeze, besides the hitting, have done a really good job on the pitching side of the Lightning. Pitching has just been fantastic as of late. That one spot back in the second inning of Game 1 was just the one rough patch in this series so far. And the Lightning now 2-1 in this series with a chance to win it on Monday. So one of the shortest games for the Lightning, just about 2 hours and 45 minutes,
yeah.
And it ends in a victory. So we're looking ahead, it'll be a Monday game versus the Squeeze here at Pat Thomas Stadium. We enjoy a day off tomorrow. So 7 o'clock on Monday, Ricky will be with me here at Pat Thomas Stadium. But for the finals tonight, the Squeeze, 2 runs on 8 hits, 1 error. The Lightning, 5 runs on 10 hits, no errors. Some clean baseball all around. That's good to see. Once again, the final score from Pat Thomas Stadium is 5-2. For my partner, Ricky Potts, I'm Vic Masley saying so long and good night.